Back from the store and I'm ready to pour. Pop the gas cap off. I got 5 gallons of super unleaded. Put this little towel around here. This is my hose bib. Oh yeah, I picked up, in case we have fuel failure, fuel pump issues, I picked up a Delphi. This is a Chevy small block pump. These pump, I think it's 7 to 9 psi, something like that. Those carburetors there, they need 4 psi, so there's a pressure regulator on it. So we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully the pump works. Alright, in goes the fresh gas. I've got 5 gallons of regular or super unleaded here. Because of the blower, they want super. We've gone through a lot of steps so far. I pulled some spark plug wires. I've got all 8 spark plugs out. I pulled the plugs out. 2 on the back passenger or driver's side I had to get from underneath, and then 1 on the back passenger side here, which would be the number 8 cylinder. So on the small block Chevys, the driver's side over here is 1, 3, 5, 7, and then you got 2, 4, 6, 8 on the passenger side. Sprayed some lube in each cylinder and then put that stuff back together. I did find a couple of small things I'm going to show you real quick on the car, just a couple small vacuum leaks that I visually saw, and there was a loose valve cover bolt. So let me show you that. They were actually all a little bit loose, but one more than the other. So these are some things to look for before you start firing up. Alright, so some small things before we start cranking. This vacuum line here, I capped this off on the end. You can see the rubber cap there on the end here. That was going in there. I'm not sure if it's a vacuum supply or not, so we'll figure that out later. Just wanted to cap it off. Up here at the blower, behind the blower where the main vacuum source is, we've got this here I saw, which is rotten and cracked. I was sitting there like this and I could see, hopefully you can see that, it's all splitting. So I'm going to fix this up real quick, get that capped off. On the driver's side, and when I was down here fooling with the spark plug wires and plugs down there, I saw that this was loose. You can see that bracket moving right here. This bolt for the valve cover is like not even finger tight. So you take a 7/16 and we'll just gently snug that up like 15 foot-pounds. You don't go crazy on them. That's all. And I made sure all 4 were tight and they're snugged up. So that's good there. The HEI, I have the power source. This is the power feed, 12 volt in right here. Hopefully you can see that. It says BAT. This side says TAC. Anyway, up in here, under here is where this white connector goes. So I disabled that. I don't want spark going to the engine yet. So I just want to crank it, and I want to try to build some oil pressure, and I want to try to build fuel pressure. So here's the mechanic's notes. So it says note, low compression cylinder 4, number 450 psi. Okay, this was back in March 96. I don't think so. Alright, I'll check number 2, and I'm going to check all the other ones while I'm there. So anyhow, don't always believe what you read. My compression gauge is set up. I've got the electronic ignition disabled, and when I do the compression test, I'll hold the accelerator wide open. That way the butterflies and the carbs are open, and we can get an accurate reading. So I'm going to go in the car right now. We're at 0. I'm going to go in. Let me zoom you a little bit, and then we'll crank it over about 5 times. We'll see what we have. All right. Let me see the big reveal here. Oh yeah, that's about almost 170 pounds. It's got like 165. Look at that. So I'm not sure what the that other technician was saying. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. All right, I'm going to move it on to the next cylinder, go all the way around, check them out. I don't think there's going to be any issues, but you know, I'm here, might as well check it. Got the fuel pressure regulator here, and we're shooting for 4 pounds. This comes up from the fuel pump right here, comes into the regulator. Then you've got this line which branches off to the primary and to the secondary carb. So each one has a fuel filter in it, in line. So as we try to start, we're not going to start the car because we have the HEI, the distributor's disconnected, but we want to prime it. We're going to see if that pump is pumping any fluid up into here. And if it's not, we've got to start testing the fuel system. Alright, so I'm going to go crank. I've got a fire extinguisher here. You can never be too safe. This car's been sitting a long time. It's an old car. It's almost 40 years old. I saw mouse crap up in here when I was doing some stuff, so you never know what wire they chewed. So it's always good to be safe. So let's go crank it a few times. Remember, I have the distributor's disconnected, so it's not going to start, that's for sure. But we do want to crank it. Let's listen to how it sounds. Hopefully it sounds like decent compression. Get that new oil pumping in there. Well, it sounds good. It's cranking okay. Let me check for some stuff here. All right, let me take a peek. Oh, good news. Good news. We've got fuel in the filters up here. One of these carbs is a little wet. It might even be flooded now. I thought I was smelling gas. It's a little wet up here. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. Here's your gas is in here. This is leaking a little bit. See how wet this is? So there's a leak. Here's a leak right here. See how wet my finger is? Okay. So that's why we don't start it right away, guys. This is a good. This hose right here is leaking. Look how wet that is. So that's a good test. Let's check this one here. This one's dry. All right. So we definitely got to fix this first. Maybe that's why. Maybe this is leaking here and it's leaking on top. We'll figure it out. All right, so that's a good lesson learned right there. You saw that fuel leak. I'm going to go underneath the car. Obviously, I didn't go down there yet. And I'm going to check and see if the fuel pump's leaking, you know, or any fuel lines down there are leaking or anything obvious, any oil leaks, whatever. So let me do that next. I'll fix the fuel line. And then I think we're pretty close to firing this bad boy up. I don't know how bad these carbs are going to be. Alright, so I got the leak straightened out here. And I'm going to take this air cleaner cover off just to see what's going on with the carb here. It's a little bit tight. I think I showed it earlier to you guys in the video. Maybe I'll throw some starting fluid in there just to see if it'll spark up. We'll see if it does anything. Just a little backfire. It's alright. Alright guys, moment of truth. I'm going to, I got that air cleaner cover off. I sprayed a little bit of starting fluid in there. I'm going to crank on it. We'll do it live. We'll see what happens. If it comes to, comes to life, I'll let it run for, I don't know how long. We'll see. Depends on if we see any smoke or flames. Hopefully we don't. And then I'll shut it down and I'll check things for leaks, any obvious leaks and stuff. So I got that fuel line temporarily fixed up. It was the actual filter that was leaking. So there's 2 gaskets on the end, just snug them up. All right, let me go turn the key and let's see what happens. Not idling too good, but all right, awesomeness. I don't know if you guys can see me in the shot or not, but woo, she was cooking. I still got a fuel leak up here, so I still think it's that other old hose. So we'll get that fixed. I got some heat into it. That's good. That's a good sign. You know what I mean? We got some heat into it. That's good for things. I got some kind of leak down here. I think it might be from the fuel. So we'll go through it. I got to get that fan hooked up. It actually looks a little bit like, not sure what it is. I think it is fuel. All right, guys, it's alive.